Hey, what's poppin', guys? We are back at it with another banger dragon video. Today we are playing Dragon into the brand new Monkey D. Luffy starter deck. Pretty much, this is the second game of the off-meta night that I was at. And I won the first game, if y'all seen the last video, against Ivankov. And now this is game 2 of the off-meta tournament. So here I get the dice roll and I choose to go second, if y'all noticed there. Pretty much this was my first time playing against Monkey D. Luffy starter, the brand new one. So I really did not have any idea what he did. I didn't have any clue what he did until I read him. So, but I mean, that happens, right? Sometimes you run into leaders that you never really run into. Sometimes you run into a brand new leader on release date, you know what I mean? So sometimes you get that. So right here I had a obviously mulligan. I didn't like what I saw, so I'm gonna tell you guys why I go second though. A lot of people go first because they think that it's good for the aggression, but I go second because I have a lot of 2-don plays and I have a lot of 1-don plays. I could play the dons, I can play double searchers, right? So I can either hit one search, or if I have a Don, I hit a Don. Usually always priority over the 1-cost searchers, just because it's a 3k body and it can already attack next turn without having to need like a Machina or something. But my opponent goes first and he plays a stage, right? And I'm just like, let me see what the heck that does. And I think it was just all the characters gain +1 cost, and then it has like an on-play draw card, I think, something like that. So, like clockwork, I hit the Don. And let's see what we pick up off of the first 5 search. Do we get it? Ooh, I thought I whiffed for a second. I forgot. It always feels bad to whiff, but this deck is really consistent. This is my Nano Dragon deck. I don't know if I mentioned that in the video yet, but it's the Nano Dragon build. What is a Nano Dragon? Nano Dragon is an evolution from Baby Dragon. Baby Dragon was my first creation, while our opponent sends A to lead here. And let's see what I do. I take because I'm like, first hit of the game is cool. I'm not going to give you 2/2Ks to counter that. And our opponent passes, does not establish any board. So back to us. 2 + 2 is 4. We're at our 4-down turn. That's how I do math. I go 2, 4, 6, 8 or 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 when I'm playing One Piece. I tap 1 to bring out the Searcher, which I would have played if I went first, but now I can play her on my turn 2, which is even more value because I can even find her off of the Don search, right? So I can play Don, and I have a lot of one costs in my deck, so Don can hit a good amount of people. Just another little combo right there. Play Don on 2 Don, grab the Nami, and then play her on your next turn. A little Nano Dragon tech for you. Going back to what we're doing now though, I tap 2 to play Brook, give my leader 7k, and I swing. And then I use leader effect, move 2 down to the Don and swing 5. Just trying to get a 1k out of my opponent's hand. There's no way he goes down here. And pass. So my opponent gives me this Sabo right there for counter, and I was pretty surprised because Sabo's a pretty good card. So our opponent plays the Brook and just straight up KOs the Machina. I got a little greedy there by playing the Machina, just trying to cheat her out for Don. So my opponent punishes me there, and then he swings 6 into Machina, KOs my Machina, and passes. So now my opponent has a Brook that can KO any one of my characters every turn, if he so chooses. So pretty menacing card for me, and you guys can see how I dealt with it. So going back to Nano Dragon, Baby Dragon was the first evolution, which was pretty much half Straw Hats, half Revolutionaries. My opponent gives me a 1k counter. Swing that same 2 Don to swing 5. No, I'm sorry, I attached 2 Don to Brook to swing 5. Just trying to keep my opponent in the dark here. I tap 2 for Rush Sanji, use Dragon Leader effect, move 2 Don over to Sanji, and then Sanji rushes a 6k attack to life. My opponent gives me a 2k, and then I tap 2 Dawn. No, I tap 1 Dawn for Magura to buff Nami up to 5k. And then I swing 6k to life with Nami. So I went 5, 5, 6, 6 this turn. I sent 4 attacks. And my opponent gives me those 2 cards out of hand. Goes really low in card count here in his hand, so it's looking good for us against a deck that probably draws a lot. So our opponent taps 6, play Robin, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, what? I've never seen this card before. And he pretty much this is crazy. He attacks one, KOs the other with Brook, and then he swings into the last person right here. And his leader's at 6k. So just like that, you saw my opponent kind of decimated my board because that Brook survived 1 turn. It survived 1 turn, pretty freaking nasty. I did have the means to remove it. Now that I look back at it, I did have a removal option that I could have played the last turn, and I remember thinking about it. I was like, damn, should I use this 4 Dawn for that to remove that Brook, or should I just like let it rock? And I just chose to let it rock, and then we seen what happened there. So in hindsight, I think getting rid of it would have been the better move. So I tap 1 to play Nami. Yeah, you got rid of my board, but guess what? We're playing Nano Dragon, and I'm about to pump those numbers right back up. Boom, grab the 2k Brook out of life. Out of the deck. That'd be nice out of life. 2k Brook's always a nice card to have in hand. Can't go wrong with that. All right, now we have what do we have? 8 Dawn, 7 Dawn, 7 Dawn left. Because we are are we at our full Dawn turn here? No, we're not. So I just played 1 Dawn, right? Keeping all my options open. I'm just keeping my opponent in the dark. I'm keeping my opponent in the dark, right? He's like, damn, what's he gonna do? He has so much Dawn left. What cards does he have in his deck? So you guys gotta use this to your advantage. This is part of the mental game, where it's like you want to show your moves in like step-by steps, in step-by-step processes that kind of like confuse your opponent. So I tap Brook here to give 7, to bring my leader to 7, and I attack into that Brook. Which is pretty interesting to see because I'm surprised that I swung so high into it instead of maybe swinging with some of these lower guys. I wonder what my thought process was in that moment. So I swing, or actually I play another Magura to buff Magura, and then I use the leader effect to bump Magura up to 7. What am I at? 9 to lead, 6 to 9, and he takes with no trigger. So pretty unfortunate that I didn't get this Nami to attack. So Nami kind of ends up wasting a turn as being an attacker. That's one thing that, you know, looking back, I'm actually happy that I just noticed that, because I preach like maximizing all your cards to their fullest use, and right there was a prime example where I opted to, you know, not fully maximize every card that I had, and I pretty much ended up having 1 card that was useless. So instead of using 1, 2, 3, 4 weapons on him, 5 weapons on him, I could only use 4 that turn. So it was just a weapon that was just unused. That's what you got to think as characters on your board. Like, yeah, they're low power, they're 2000s, 1000s, even like zero powers. They're weapons. They're like, it's like an empty weapon, you know? It's like an empty gun just waiting there. Yeah, it can't do nothing by itself, but like, you could put some ammo in there. Whenever with Dawn, you just charge it up with Dawn, and it's a 10k. What's up? You put 10 Dawn on a 0 cost, that's a 10k bomb. You ever think about that? That's why people are like, oh, like, I can't believe you swing with your baby so much. Like, yeah, like, these are weapons, y'all. Like, you're paying all this Dawn to drop a weapon on the field, and I just pay like 1 Dawn to drop a weapon, and they could both attack the following turn depending on how much Dawn we put on them. Like, I'm putting all my Dawn on my low cost. That's how we get it popping. So back to the game right here. It's our opponent's turn. Looks like he played the Kuzan and he played the Rebecca to bring back the Brook. Brook on play KO'd one of my guys. And then it looks like Robin also swung into the other guy. I'm like trying to, I didn't see what happened because I was so caught up in what I was just saying that I kind of didn't see the progression. But now I'm like trying to piece it together based on this information. We'll see if I get it right. So yeah, Rebecca right here grabbed Brook from the grave and played Brook from the grave. Looks like Leader and Robin both swung. And I still have 4 life. So full 10 down here. My opponent is at 2 life, by the way. So 2 life to 4 life. This is a pretty dominant board position, I would say. But he definitely established himself pretty well. And now it's up to me to see how I respond. So I send 9 to lead here. And it gives me the Rebecca. Interesting. Let's see. Leader effect swing 5 to lead. It gives us the 2K. And I play Makino to buff Magata up to 5. And I swing 6 to Brook. And 4 Jet Pistol to KO Kuzan. Bang! Get him out of here. So just like that, I completely washed his board. Yeah, he established some people. He did kind of still have his 6 cost, like his highest damage character, still on the field. So that's very unlucky. It's good for him, obviously. But I figured with all the stuff that I had, get rid of his board and then try to chip away at life. And our opponent here brings out the Sanji and just KOs Makino. And I'm like, what does that do? I was like, oh shit, okay. And then he plays his own blocker. So just like that, our opponent completely washed our board. So, you know, we're just out comboing each other right now, right? So now back to me. Back to me. What's up? He's showing me that he can hang 2. He said, you removed my whole board except for 1. So my opponent here, bringing it back down to earth. 2 life to 4 life. He has 3 characters on the board. I have none. Who do you think is has the advantage here? Let me know in the comment section. Pause it right now and then tell me what you think. Do I have the advantage with the board state? You know, having 4 life over him. I do have a good amount of cards in hand, or do you think he has the advantage? Let me know. Oh, you know what? Looks like I only have 3 cards in hand. Never mind. It's not looking good at all for us. It is not looking good, but hey, we'll see how we end up salvaging this turn. I'm going to send 10 to Robin. And our opponent blocks with Borsellino, which tells me he doesn't have more than 10 to counter. Or if he did, he just didn't want to use it. So I tap 2 to bring out the Luffy. And as y'all can see, my hand is running a little thin. My hand is looking a little thin. And in hindsight, it is because I did hit the Makino. I mean, I did hit the Dadan search and the Nami search. 2 searchers. So we'll see what happens, you know, if I end up drawing searchers or not. Or, you know, it's also nice because whenever I do find myself in these situations where it's like low cards in hand, kind of running out of steam, of like momentum, having a nice rush in hand is like will really be finishing you games. So like, you know, having a Kid and Killer in hand, having like an 8 cost dragon. I know some people like to run the 10 cost rush Luffy. That would be pretty nice tech too. So I didn't play nothing that turn, and my opponent plays 9 to lead. He swings 9 to lead, and I take. So my opponent is definitely picking apart my board as he so pleases right now. So back down to 2 life to 2 life. I had two pretty rough boards where I had to, you know, not really play much. I'm stalling out until I can find more searchers, until I could find, you know, more of my tools. So as a player, like, you need to be able to withstand these types of situations where it's like these are two pretty dominant turns for my opponent, right? Like, he's just wiping out everything. He's playing multiple cards. He's establishing blockers, and he has the option. He's like, oh, should I use my blocker? Or should I just let you take it? Like, he has options right now. He's definitely in control of this present moment. But, you know, we're not wavering either. We're sending 9 to Sanji. My opponent gives it to me. I tap 2 Dawn to bring out Luffy, another one. He KO'd the last one. And then I tap 1 Dawn for Magda. And then I tap another Dawn for Magda again. So let's get it. What is popping? Right? Now we got some board right here. We got some dominance established. So my opponent swings 5 to life and KOs one of the Magras. I anticipated this. That's why I threw out 2 of them. It wasn't a surprise that Magra got KO'd. I threw out 2 because he can only KO 1. So I send a big old attack to him, and he blocks it out. I think I'm sending 9, and he blocks out the 9, and I'm like, damn. So, let's see what's popping right now. My opponent taps 3 and swings 6, 7, 8, 9. Where's this 9 going? I tap 1 for Rad Beam plus Luffy. 10k, no cards in hand. What's up? My opponent sends 11, I take, and he passes over to me. Can't do nothing else. We successfully defended that last turn perfectly. It was all leading up to this moment. This is the position I want to be in. My opponent has 2 life. I have 0 life. I have officially entered my 0 life comfort zone. This is where I like to be in. This is where I thrive. And what would you do in this situation right here? Pause the video, let me know. Analyze this, 0 life, 2 life. What's your play? Who are you prioritizing? Who are you trying to target? Are you going for life or are you going for characters? Because all I see is red. And I'm a red dragon player, so when I see red, that means go. For some people it means stop. But for me, when you see red, you go. You just rush. You start going for game right here. So that's the only thing that's on my mind right now. I'm like, okay, I have officially analyzed and said I'm going for game no matter what. Send 7 to lead, he takes. Tap 1 for Chopper. I use Luffy ability to grab that Dawn, put another Dawn on Luffy, so he's at 5. Use Dragon leader effect, bump him up to 7, swing 7 to life, he takes. And I sent 8 to lead, and he goes up to 9. Oh my god. Up to 9 to defend that last hit. Bam, that was all she wrote. That was all she wrote. Y'all just seen some fire right there. That was some heat. That was some fireworks right there. That was a spectacular finish. That was damn. That last attack, opponent put up the defensive walls and had exactly enough to counter out. No counter left in hand. Good game to my opponent, Kurrybo right here. He definitely outplayed me on this match. He's taken a good amount of dubs lately against me. Not even gonna lie. I think he beat me with the Nell. I was playing Dragon and he beat me with the Nell too. So it's a good guy right here, Kurrybo right here. But yeah, for sure. That was that match. This was the second match of Off Meta Mondays. You know, we had 4 total rounds, so y'all are about to see who I faced up against third. And that game was pretty freaking crazy too, to say the least. It was, who was I playing against? I'll give y'all the color. I'll give y'all the color. Red is one of them. That's all I'm saying. It can have 1 or it can have 2 colors, but it's a red for sure. Let me know in the comments who you think I'm gonna play against in my third match, and I'm gonna read them the next video, and we'll see who gets it right. If anyone guesses it correctly, we'll see. All right then. But for sure, if you aren't already a part of my Discord, make sure you hop in it. I'm gonna leave the link right here in the description. We got a bunch of people in there helping each other out. I post all of my deck list videos and some of my more exclusive content on my Discord. So if you're trying to be, if you're trying to see a little look behind the scenes, kind of see how we running things, definitely hop in and say what's up. All right then, that's everything for this one, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Lights.